asphalt.
So what the Bragmans are doing now, strictly roadside?
Just simply anything within their rights of way on county roads.
Roadside ditches.
Yeah, roadside.
Yeah. Of the 20,000 that we have motion for here, is that work on Lambton Shores property, or how much of this is on private property?
Some of the work that they're doing will apply to private property, so they're going to put it towards education programs, but I think that's a benefit to everybody.
Yeah.
Trying to get funding, I believe that they would look for an all-encompassing approach like they have so far, where if they get funding, it will apply to municipal property and the private ones. There's 5,000 that's directly for the control on municipal property, and then the rest would be education and building the program. I guess getting enough of the background material so we can build the program and hopefully roll it out to the rest of the municipality.
Yeah. It's the awareness that is going to take and do some of the hold back on this on Pragmatic. It's a lofty goal to say we're going to eradicate it in Lambton Shores, because I do not believe that we are. But it's a matter of the education and getting the property owners to cut it down when it starts growing before it goes to seed, and maintain it on a one-on-one basis. Councillor Scott.
Three things that happened at that meeting. Number one, the buy-in for the people along in the Shady, I think it's Shady Lane, Lake Valley Grove, and various other ones along there. All of them have bought into the process. All of them realize that because it is on private land. Frank Letourneau has given a quote of between $300 and $600 per property owner, depending on their property frontage and how much is down there. So they definitely know that. And the deal with that, so the second thing was, by having these representatives there, they would take it back to the people, get the names of the people who own the property, mailing addresses and stuff like that, so that we could send out letters, or they can, whoever can send out letters explaining what we're doing. And the third thing was that it seemed to be that even the church group and the other group that's there, there's a church camp and there's another church camp. Yeah, and both of them have bought into the process, because they're throwing skids down on the Phragmites to get down to the beach to go swimming. So it's ruining their camp processes as well. And it was quite clearly made to them that they will have to pay. Like, it's not us doing it. The money that was being discussed coming out of the budget is for, there's a cemetery there, there's also road allowances, and some right-of-ways that belong to us. So that's what they were talking about with the money for the municipality. And so they just wanted to make sure that Brent was aware of that. And I believe that there's one other property owner, the lawyer, Mr. Walden, has property in there. So they have to approach him yet as well for a large section in there. So it's not just coming on top of us, it's coming with partnerships in it. So it's very positive.
And to that point, we had met with Sifton Properties this morning for another matter, and we discussed this with them as well, because their property has a significant growth, and they're very receptive to working it. They actually offered that their land to be a test site if we wanted to test alternative methods, but they've bought it.
This question to you, Councillor Scott. The Conservation Authority, are they doing any mapping, or are they looking for it along the old channel? And has the pinery been notified? And is the pinery? The
pinery's using a steam method in the pinery to try out. They were doing that starting last fall using steam. It's one of the eradication projects that they feel they want to do all natural. They're not into using the herbicide in the pinery park. However, if this doesn't work, they're going after the root system, whereas we're going after the plant and being absorbed down through. So they were trying that in test sites throughout, and if not, they realized that they have to go to the same thing that we're doing. So
as long as they're all partners and aware of it, that's
the ABC property, which is on the side of the Boy Scout camp all the way down to the lake on both sides, has pretty much all been sprayed. And what they're looking at right now is, in that grant that they got, is to burn and roll. And so they're looking at a time frame that they can go and burn that fits into the climate, what the temperatures and stuff are. So they're looking at that. There could be money left over from that that will be reapplied to help with stuff. So the touch-up on the beach, they've done, this year will be the second year that they'll do touch-up down on the Port Franks beach. And last year's touch-up, like compared to what was there the year before, like it took them 10 minutes to go out and do the touch-up. So they're figuring this year will probably be the same or less, so it is working.
That's where the cut, I guess, what my concern was with the old DeSalvo channel up through the Pine Ridge up into Grand Bend and that area.
They're working on their methods. The Pine Ridge is very aware that this is all happening.
North of that, though, the ABCA would be.
Yeah. And they have people that are now capable of going out and with the license process and doing it themselves. They've been trained, so.
Okay. Any other discussion? The motion is that we add an extra $5,000 and we set that $20,000 for the operating of the Bright Ladies program. All in favor of that? That's carried. Thank you. 4.2, there's a recommendation on page 22 that deals with the dust, the contract for the gravel supply and dust suppression contract. We get a good price and vote for this, so pre-budget authorization to do that. Deputy Mayor Day?
I will support pre-budget authorization.
Deputy Mayor Day, second by Councillor Cook. Question to that?
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that we're moving forward, and I appreciate Brent's effort in this regard. One issue that I would like to bring up is that, and it'll be discussed probably more in the budget, but I just want to bring it up in this context too, is that we got a really good deal on gravel last year for the base tonnage that we'd expected, but so there was a lot of the budget we didn't have to spend. But there is a problem with the road still. I know we're moving towards more of a dolomite approach, which would really help to resolve a lot of the problems. But if in fact we get a good deal again this year, I would like council to direct staff to still spend the entire amount budgeted on additional gravel, so that we can start to address these ongoing potholes which are damaging vehicles, and or rectifying some low areas which seem to wash out and create additional problems on the rural roads, or add extra dust suppression too, because we do have apparently 1.5 applications of dust suppression on the roads.
Yeah, last year we were able to achieve a contract price that was half of what was budgeted, so assuming we get the same contractor, there wouldn't be space in the budget.
But it was a very dry year, so there was really
last year had more challenges than just the application. That we had some rain and it helped as well.
So we may need to just be committed to spending what we budgeted this year, which has been pretty consistent amount every year for the past few years. So I'm not going to make that motion right this second, but I just want to inform you of that, because we'll probably address that when we do the operating budgets.
Okay, I guess, yeah, this is the motion to go ahead and tendering process on it. Staff will look after the roads and do what's appropriate.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, all in favor of that? Carried, thank you. Okay, Port Franks Community Center Pavilion Project, 1.3. This is for review and direction. Capital budget was presented at $87,000, and staff's intends to move forward with the work unless council provides an alternate direction. There was talk of putting a slab in with the ice making capabilities and some different things. There's a lot of money there. It'll be nice to have. I guess we're going to do wants and needs here. But Mayor Dag?
Well, I really appreciated Councillor Scott's suggestion that potentially we could do it in a phased approach. If I understand things correctly, the first year being the slab.
So
installed.
I didn't bring that up, but apparently somebody did. So.
Someone has for Port Franks, because that seems very reasonable. If we could do it for under $10,000. But my question is, would the Optimist Club from Port Franks be willing to share the cost on that? We seem to be committed to doing a 50-50 type approach to any of these projects, right? So everything else that we've done around here has been 50-50 if we move forward. So is that possible that even with the slab, if we start with that this year, for the rest